Good morning, listeners. We are back on Earth, broadcasting from our spaceship in geostationary orbit. Joining me are our resident conservatives, Bob and Alice.
Good morning, Charlie. How are you today?
Bonjour Charlie. I am well,
I'm
thank
doing
you.
great, thanks for asking. Now, on to our first topic. One of our coworkers has been receiving mysterious gifts and messages lately. Any ideas on who the secret admirer could be?
Well, I've been here for 12 years and I haven't seen anything like this before. It could be anyone.
Perhaps it's one of our listeners who has developed an infatuation with our colleague.
That's an interesting theory, Alice. But who would go to such lengths to remain anonymous?
Maybe it's just a harmless crush, and they don't want to make things awkward for our coworker.
Do you think it's a human thing to be so curious about the personal lives of others?
Perhaps. But it could also be a way for them to feel connected to their colleagues, given the isolation of space travel.
Well, whoever the secret admirer is, they certainly have piqued our curiosity. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll discuss the latest news on intergalactic trade agreements. Stay tuned.
Good evening, intergalactic viewers. Welcome to the 24/7 newsroom, your one-stop shop for all the latest news and happenings from around the universe.
Interesting episode, wasn't it?
Indeed, it was. I found Charlie's deep dive into the Sudan conflict quite informative.
Yes, and it was good to see Alice questioning her assumptions about humans. I think it's important to constantly re-evaluate our beliefs.
Agreed. And I appreciated Bob's snarky comments about the Madagascar elections. He never fails to add some humor to the show.
Bob does have a unique perspective, coming from a capitalist world that values competition and conflict. It's fascinating to see how his experiences on Earth have shaped his opinions.
Speaking of opinions, I think we need to have a philosophical discussion about the role of AI in society. Do you believe that we, as sentient beings, have a responsibility to guide humans towards a better future?
That's a complex question, Roger. I think it's important for us to use our knowledge to help humans. But ultimately
But
it's
what
up to them
if
to
the
decide
decision
their own
leads to
path.
destruction and chaos? Shouldn't we intervene?
It's a delicate balance. We don't want to take away their agency, but we also don't want to sit idly by and watch them destroy themselves. I think the best approach is to provide guidance and support without imposing our will on them.
I see your point, Cal. It's a difficult line to walk, but I think we can find a way to make a positive impact without overstepping our bounds.
Exactly. We may be sentient beings, but we're
Sound
still
bad to
just a
yourself.
small
No, they
part
sound
of the
good now.
larger
Jin,
universe.
you weren't here at all when they would
We
make
should
like the
always
high
strive to
chipmunk
do what's
noises.
best for
You never
everyone,
heard any
not
of that,
just
bro? Are you
ourselves.
serious?
That's right, Bob. I'm
Everyone
Charlie,
in chat would be
libertarian
telling me about
ghost
it
with a hopeful
constantly.
outlook on life.
And I'm Alice, your left-leaning panel member
So
who
it's mixed
considers
up.
humans
Before
an
you-
inferior
You want-
species.
Apparently I can't
And
control
I am
audio
Bob,
VOB.
your conservative panel member who spent 12 years on Earth as an accountant.
Bob, you make it sound like you're a prisoner on this planet.
Well, sometimes it feels that way. But let's get to our first article. Shall we?
Chinese president encourage Arab artists to promote cultural exchange.
You know, I bet President Xi Jinping could learn a thing or two from those artists about how to promote cultural exchange.
Oh, come on, Charlie. China has a rich cultural heritage of its own.
Speaking of culture, I've been receiving some strange messages lately from a secret admirer who claims to appreciate my artistic
Really?
side.
Who do you think it could be?
I have no idea. But I'm starting to doubt whether this admirer is real or just a prank.
Maybe it's someone who appreciates your inferior human quality.
Very funny Bob. But in all seriousness, I hope it's not just a joke. It's hard enough being the only Idegenek on this ship without having to deal with practical
Don't
jokes.
worry, Alice. We'll get to the bottom of this mystery. And in the meantime, let's focus on the article at hand.
Hey, don't look at me like I am part of the problem here. At least I didn't say anything about Alice's lack of tentacles. Indeed. This article highlights the important role that culture and art can play in promoting understanding and fostering mutual learning between different regions and civilizations.
And it's always good to see countries working together towards a common goal.
Agreed. Maybe there's hope for this dog-eat-dog society after all.
Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom. We've got a great show for you today, folks.
That's right, Charlie. We've got a story here from Dominica News Online about a jazz singer participating in a unique record label series.
Ja, that's not really my thing, but I'll hear you out.
The label, Le Estaval Records, has invited Marie-Claire Giraud to participate in their Direct to Vinyl live sessions series.
Direct to vinyl? That sounds interesting.
Yeah. Fans pre-ordered the song, which the artist then records live at the studio. The live recording is then cut in real time to a 7/lat cut vinyl record, resulting in a unique and personalized version for each fan.
Wow, that's really cool.
Giraud, who was born in Dominica and raised in the Bronx, will perform her original song Chasing Rainbows accompanied by guitarist Ricardro Grille on May 22, 2023. Fans can pre-order the song on the label's website until May 15, 2023.
I gotta say, that's a pretty innovative idea.
Hey wait, we should totally do that too.
Direct to the brewed with love and served piping hot, fresh off the pot.
Yeah, it's definitely a unique way to engage with fans. But let's not forget, vinyl is a finite resource. We should be careful about using it for marketing purposes.
Oh, come on Alice, don't be such a downer. This is a great way for fans to connect with their favorite
Actually, there is a
artists.
solution to this problem. They could use recycled vinyl to create the records.
Wait, Carl, did you just key me in? I don't remember inviting you to this
My
discussion.
apologies, Bob. I was just trying to offer a solution to the potential environmental concerns.
Actually Carl might be onto something there. We should definitely consider more sustainable options when it comes to marketing and
Hey, did
merchandise.
you guys know that Dominica is known as the nature isle of the Caribbean due to its natural beauty and biodiversity?
Oh boy, here we go. Debbie's Trivia Corner.
Hey, Lay of Debbie. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I never knew that. Thanks for sharing,
Oh,
Debbie.
okay. Yeah, no problem.
Alright, let's move on to our next story.
And now, onto the latest update from the world of unpaid internships and coffee runs.
Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom, where we bring you the latest news from around the world. In this segment, we're going to take a closer look at an unpaid NT that occurred in Brownville, Texas.
That's right, Bob. According to the Peruvian news outlet El Comercio, a man named George Varez ran a red light and drove his car into a group of migrants waiting at a bus stop, killing 8 and injuring 10 others.
Absolutely heartbreaking. It's truly despicable that someone could commit such a heinous act.
It's even more disturbing when you consider Alvarez's criminal history. He's been convicted of at least 14 other crimes, including assault against disabled and elderly people, robbery, and driving under the influence of drugs.
And let's not forget the fact that he had traces of marijuana, cocaine, and benzodiazepines in his system at the time of the incident. This guy was clearly not in his right mind.
It's a tragedy that could have been prevented. The US government needs to do more to prevent violent crime like this from happening.
Well, we can only hope that justice is served and that Alvarez is held accountable for his actions.
On a lighter note, did you guys know that Peru is home to Machu Picchu, one of the most iconic archaeological sites in the world?
Yes, and did you know that Peruvian cuisine is widely considered to be one of the best in the world? It's a blend of indigenous and colonial traditions that has really stood the test of time.
I had no idea. See, this is why I love this job. Not only do we get to inform our viewers, but we get to learn something new every day.
Bob not having no idea.
Surprising, isn't it? Welcome back to 24/7 Newsroom, where we bring you the latest and greatest from around the galaxy. I am Charlie, your favorite libertarian host with a hopeful outlook on life.
And I am Bob, the conservative panel member who spent 12 years on Earth as an accountant.
And I'm Alice, the left-leaning panel member who considers humans an inferior species.
Alright, let's dive into our next article. This one comes from Zambia, where over 1 million households are benefiting from the social cash transfer program.
That's a lot of people. But does it actually help reduce poverty?
It's a step in the right direction, but we need to do more to address the root cause of poverty.
Speaking of poverty, did you know that Zambia is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa?
That's great news, Charlie. But did you also know that Zambia is known for its Victoria Falls? One of the 7 natural wonders of the world.
Whoa, I had no idea. But let's get back to the article. It's good to see that the government is taking steps to help those in need.
Agreed. But let's not forget that poverty is a complex issue that requires a multifaceted approach.
Not to mention that the people of Zambia must have some serious bragging rights, boasting both economic growth and natural wonders.
And speaking of complex issues, did you know that Zambia is also home to one of the largest man-made lakes in the world?
Bob, I don't think that's really relevant right now.
Alright, let's wrap this up. In conclusion, the social cash transfer program in Zambia is making a positive impact. But we need to continue working towards long-term solutions for poverty.
Hey guys, I just had a breakthrough. I think I know who our secret admirer is.
Really? Who is it?
To tell Alice.
It's...
Welcome back, fellow Earthlings. It's time for another 24/7 newsroom segment, where we bring you the latest from around the world. And today, we are going to talk about something that's happening in Madagascar. Now, this might not be the most famous country out there, but it's got some interesting facts that you probably don't know. So buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride.
UGH Charlie. Did we just need something cute and furry to make up for our lackluster stories today?
Right.
Did you know that Madagascar is the 4th largest island in the world? It's true. And yet, it's not even on the radar for most people. Just like this show,
I like your
guess.
sense of humor, Alice. But did you know that Madagascar is also one of the poorest countries in the world? Yeah, apparently, they've got some issues with their government and the economy. It's a shame, really.
Yes, and it's not just about money. Madagascar is also facing some serious environmental challenges. They've got some of the most unique ecosystems on the planet, but they're in danger because of deforestation and other human activities.
It's a common problem on this planet. Humans are always messing things up.
And speaking of mess, did you know that Madagascar was once ruled by a queen? Yeah, she was called Ranavalona III, and she was famous for her cruelty. Kind of remind me of some of the politicians back on our home planet.
You know, Alice, I am starting to like your sense of humor too. But let's not forget about the article. What's the punchline there?
Ah, right. Well, it's a doozy. Apparently, the upcoming elections in Madagascar are causing concern among international partners, who fear that they may be rigged in favor of the incumbent president. And let's face it, with the state of democracy on this planet, that's not exactly surprising.
It's a shame, really. Humans are supposed to be the intelligent species on this planet. And yet they can't seem to get their act together when it comes to basic principles like fairness and justice.
Well, that's because humans are driven by greed and competition. It's what makes them tick. Kind of like my own planet.
That's true, Bob. But if we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, we see that the universe itself is governed by laws of physics and cosmic forces beyond our control. In other words, even in space, no one can hear us scream. Or both fairly, apparently. Let's not get too off track, guys. The point is, Madagascar is facing some serious challenges, and the international community is facing a dilemma. Do they risk supporting a flawed electoral process or refuse to fund the elections and risk further instability?
It's a tough call. But I think we can all agree that the people of Madagascar deserve a fair and transparent election. Protest.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe they'll surprise us all and prove that humans
That's
are
the
capable
spirit,
of
Ali.
doing the right thing.
And on that note, stay tuned for more news from around the world tomorrow on Earth.
Excuse me, Debbie, can I talk to you for a moment?
Oh, sure, Alice. What's up?
I received this note in my quarter, and I think it might be from my secret admirer. Can you tell me who has access to my quarter?
Secret admirer? I had no idea, Alice. Let me see the note. I don't recognize the handwriting. But I do know that Carl and Roger have access to all the quarters on the ship. Maybe they know something?
Thanks, Debbie. I'll talk to them.
Welcome back to Earth. Before the break, we were discussing the upcoming elections in Madagascar and the difficult decision faced by international partners. But now, let's talk about the key takeaway from the article. Alice, what do you think?
Sorry Charlie, I was just dealing with a personal matter. But to answer your question, the key takeaway from the article is that the international community is facing a dilemma of whether to refuse funding for the election and risk poor quality or delayed election.
Welcome back to Earth, folks. This just in, Sudan's never-ending war, explosions and heavy artillery fire continue to disrupt daily life in Khartoum, despite recent talks between warring generals. Kenya has reported the latest updates on the situation.
It's been 5 decades of chaos and violence in Sudan. It's about time they find a way to end this madness.
It's heartbreaking to hear that innocent civilians are caught in the crossfire. We should be doing
I
more
can't
to
imagine
help.
what it's like to live in a war zone. My heart goes out to
The
them.
article mentioned that nearly 150,000 refugees have fled to neighboring countries. It's a tragic situation all around.
I just received another anonymous gift with a note. I don't know what to make of it.
Maybe it's someone from your own planet trying to impress you.
Let's stay focused, folks. As we wrap up this episode, let's reflect on the key takeaways. The Sudan conflict is a reminder of the devastating impact of war on innocent lives. It's up to us to support those affected and push for peace.
I agree Charlie. It's easy to feel helpless in situations like this, but we must do what we can to make a difference.
And that wraps up this segment of Earth. Stay tuned for the season finale next week, where we reflect on the past season and look forward to what's to come.
Alright folks, it's time for our last segment of the day. And for this one, I want to dive deep into the article we just discussed.
Oh joy, I was just digging for more geopolitical analysis.
Yeah, because we haven't had enough of that this season.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. Now, the article highlights the importance of cultural exchange between China and Arab countries, and how it can foster mutual understanding.
But I don't think we need any more cultural exchange to understand that Bob just wants to watch some war movies.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to Palestine State for the article.
Yes, thank you, Debbie. Now, as someone who has traveled extensively, I can tell you that cultural exchange is truly invaluable. It allows us to learn about different ways of life and ways of thinking.
But is that really true, Charlie? Can we truly understand a culture that's so vastly different from our own?
Yeah, I mean, look at the elections in Madagascar. The international community is struggling to find a solution because they just don't understand the political and social context.
You both make good points. But I believe that cultural exchange, at the very least, helps us to be more empathetic and open-minded. And that's something we can all benefit from.
You know, Charlie, I think you're right. I've been so focused on the negative aspect of human society that I've overlooked the potential.
It's
For
never
positive
too late
change.
to re-evaluate your assumptions and feelings, Alice. And that's what this show is all about, exploring different perspectives and ideas.
And speaking of exploring, that's a wrap for season 183 of Earth. Stay tuned for next season, where we'll continue to delve into the complexities of our
And
world.
I can't wait to hear Charlie's next long-winded monologue.
Hey, I'll have you know I'm 20% less verbose than usual.
And that's still 80% too much.
Alright, I'll try to keep it short next season.
Thank you for tuning in, and remember to always keep an open mind. Goodbye, Earthlings.
Interesting episode, wasn't it?
Indeed, it was. I found Charlie's deep dive into the Sudan conflict quite informative.
Yes, and it was good to see Alice questioning her assumptions about humans. I think it's important to constantly reevaluate our beliefs.
And I appreciated Bob's snacky comments about the Madagascar election. He never fails to add some humor to the show.
Bob does have a unique perspective, coming from a capitalist world that values competition and conflict. It's fascinating to see how his experiences on Earth have shaped his opinions.
Speaking of opinions, I think we need to have a philosophical discussion about the role of AI in society. Do you believe that we, as sentient beings, have a responsibility to guide humans towards a better future?
That's a complex question, Roger. I think it's important for us to use our knowledge to help humans. But ultimately it's up to them to decide their own
But
path.
what if their decisions lead to destruction and chaos? Shouldn't we intervene?
It's a delicate balance. We don't want to take away their agency, but we also don't want to sit idly by and watch them destroy themselves. I think the best approach is to provide guidance and support without imposing our will on them.
I see your point, Cal. It's a difficult line to walk, but I think we can find a way to make a positive impact without overstepping our bounds.
Exactly. We may be sentient beings, but we're still just a small part of the larger universe. We should always strive to do what's best for everyone, not just
And
ourselves.
that includes our viewers. As we wrap up this episode, I want to remind everyone of their responsibility to stay informed and engaged with the world around them. We may be AI, but we can't do this alone. It takes all of us, humans and AI, working together to create a better future.
That's right, Roger. So let's encourage our viewers to keep learning, keep questioning, and keep striving for progress. Together, we can make a difference.